Alright, so I watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and this is a continuation of the franchise that we all know and love, and continuing the story with the apes as they are in their new tribe, and continuing Caesar's legacy and with the new threat that is looking upon them, and just so much more as well. And so this will be my full non-spoiler review for the movie, go over my thoughts and what I liked about it, what I liked about the story, and what the VFX and with its intriguing things that I was really invested into, and just so much more, and how it'll going to continue. And this will be like a fresh new start for a new trilogy of movies as well. And so, if you're new here, then be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so don't miss out on any future bits. But now, let's talk about this movie. And now, going into this movie, and I adore the Planet of the Apes trilogy, especially with its rebooted franchise with the Rise, Dawn, and War. And then this is a direct continuation of that, except that this one is like a time jump. And plus, even with this movie that was on my most anticipated list for a summer movie season, and the fact that this movie basically delivered. It's like we're in like a new territory with the apes, and continuing Caesar's legacy with Noah trying to lead this new kingdom of apes, especially with this threat out there called Proximus Caesar, that like attacks their village, and then with Noah that has to like go on this adventure to bring the apes home. So especially with the help of other people like with Nova and with the additional Maurice as well, and that's what the main premise of the story is. It's like continuing the story with the apes, and especially for what they are going through, and after the last couple of movies in the trilogy, I feel like with this direct continuation, I think audiences will definitely fall in love with the apes once again. And now, even with the characters that I did definitely enjoyed throughout the movie, is as I mentioned, especially with Noah, played by Owen Teague, I feel like he was like a definite standout character as like someone that's leading this tribe, this new kingdom of apes in their village, especially carrying on Caesar's legacy as he is trying to protect them. As like this is what the apes have been going through since like the last trilogy, but even though that this is like a time jump, and this is not like something that happened from the last movie. Again, this is like a fresh new start from the start of something new in this franchise. And even with the character Nova, with her real name is May, and with all the other apes they've called Nova, but this one is called a May. And I just really liked her character, even with the way that she's introduced, and with her expressions and emotions towards the apes. It is really cool like to see her development throughout the movie, and I feel like she put on a fantastic performance, especially with like a BB with Noah the entire time on his journey, and like learning more about like who she is, about like where she came from. It's because she's like basically like a human, and because even with the purpose of this movie is that even with like apes and humans of how they interact, and even with apes that like hunt humans now, and like that's what this whole movie serves as its purpose, and like that's how I got invested into it. Because it even takes a minute to soak it right in, but once it gets started, like it starts right away like that, and you really get invested into all these characters and the story and the adventure, the feeling of adventure that these characters go on. That's what I pretty much adored about this movie. It has that same feel and vibe as the last trilogy, and that's what I'm happy for, and I'm glad of what this movie actually delivered. And now I want to talk about like the antagonist, the main villain of this movie, Proximus Caesar. I mean, like he was so good as a villain, and like you really get the feel of why he's essentially like a bad guy, what he's doing for the apes, and like especially with the layout, and even with this overall set design, and that is basically built up for this movie, it is really amazing. And I like the use of VFX as they use like on these apes. And like you don't get the feel that once you step into the movie, it feels like magic. And like, but even for what his purpose was in this movie is especially like with his men and that are out there, hunting apes, and like especially like I think with the humans involved, like they're still like hunting down apes would be because even with with apes and humans as I fully realized yet, and that's why with the humans I mean, with the apes they are in danger, and that's how with Proxima Caesar he's keeping the apes in his territory, and that's for the job for Noah. I mean, that's essentially the main premise of this movie, but I won't spoil any details. But you definitely get the feel of why he's a villain, of why Noah has to bring them home. And even throughout some parts of the movie, that kind of left me confused, but it was trying to tell a story. It was trying to do its job, especially as you go into more of what they are doing, especially involving the humans and the apes. You sort of really get into what's really going on. It really unfolds well. But even towards the end, it'll make you feel invested for what's to come, especially with the next couple of movies. And even for when I saw that ending for the first time on the big screen, it's the start of a whole new saga of movies, and I hope that they continue this down the road with more stories that I have to tell what happened. But plus, again, I felt invested, and especially for what Nova was uncovering, especially with the apes. And even with the humans, it's sort of a very interesting. It's sort of a complex, and as the parts that I just enjoyed. I really felt invested in her character, especially for what she was trying to do with the apes, and trying to uncover what was happening. And even with the general audiences going into this movie, I think they'll love what this story has to be told. Especially this is the return of the apes, and this is the franchise that we all know and love. Plus, we haven't had a Planet of the Apes movie since 2017, and the fact that this is a direct continuation of that, I feel like with the audiences and fans, and I'll definitely go in this movie, enjoy a great adventure, even though that this is a long movie, but it takes its time to really make you feel invested in the characters, the story, and the VFX for what this movie has to accomplish, and for what its job is, especially throughout parts of the movie. But even if you haven't watched the rebooted Planet of the Apes trilogy, I highly recommend you do so, because even for how the movie opens, they do explain what happens at the end of the last movie to kind of gear you up for the start of this new movie. But I won't spoil what it is. Just go watch the movie, and then thank me later. But it really makes you feel invested for what happens, and as stuff that I was really intrigued by. I just love the Planet of the Apes movies, and especially with the apes characters that are so adorable, and plus they really introduce new characters with the addition of Maurice, and I feel like he's definitely from the last trilogy of movies, and I feel like with his return in this movie, it was amazing to get to experience this world of the new apes territory with Noah, and to kind of take him on this adventure with him and Nova, and plus there are some real high stakes for these apes of what they are going through, and that's just something that you guys will generally love going in this movie. It is a great chemistry, a great story. There are great VFX. It has great digital sound. Plus, go see this on the big screen as soon as you can. This is the start of summer movie season, and I feel like it's gonna be a big hit at the box office. And just you wait, because once it opens wide, this will be the movie of the summer, and I feel like I was really impressed of what this movie accomplished, and I enjoyed it. And so, for my final thoughts to sum it all up, is I love the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I love its story, the characters, the VFX of what this has accomplished. And towards the end, it'll definitely make a question for what's next, especially for the next couple movies of what it has been going. And plus, I adored the last trilogy. I feel like this movie was a direct continuation of that, and I feel like it did a good job, especially as I loved Nova, and even with Maurice, and I just like the introduction of new characters, what stakes this movie served, especially with Proxima Caesar. And again, it's like a fun time at the movies, and you won't regret it. So see it on the big screen as soon as you can, and so much more. And yeah, I definitely recommend this movie for when it opens. And so that's going to be the first video. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And what your thoughts on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And are you planning on seeing this film in theaters? Or if you haven't seen it, and give it a rating to 1 out of 10. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications about future videos. And also follow all my social medias, which are linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.